For this video, I'm using a project called Locals and Autos Windows. These windows are usually shown in every debugging session across the bottom of your screen. Let's take a look. I'll click on this Autos window, and then I'll show you across the bottom of the screen. I currently have 4 windows down here: Autos, Locals, and 2 watch windows.
If you do not see these windows on your copy of Visual Studio, you can enable them by going to the Debug menu and choosing the Windows menu, then select the Locals menu item to enable the Locals window, the Autos menu item to enable the Autos window, and in the Watch menu section, you can enable up to 4 watch windows. I currently have Watch 1 and Watch 2 enabled.
The Autos windows displays variables used in the current statement and the line above it. If you are in a C# application, that is. If you're in a Visual Basic application, then it shows you the line of code and 3 lines above and 3 lines below that line of code. So as I step through my code by pressing F11, you keep your eye on that Autos window at the bottom. You'll see that currently I've got greeting and this. This represents the current window. If I move one more line of code, you'll see I now have the book added and greeting has moved down 1 section. As I step further into my code, now the greeting string disappears and the X variable shows up and the book is left over. So what it's doing is monitoring your current debug location and giving you information about that in the line above it. If I move this yellow cursor up, you'll see it changes back to showing the greeting. Now, as I step through this code, I'm going to get to a section where I call another function. So when I step into this other function, now I'm looking at auto variables for this function. When I return back to the original function, you see that it shows X again. That's because X is above the current line. The Locals window is very similar. The difference is it doesn't check above or below. It gives you the state of all the local variables, any variable that is declared within this function. And it also gives you the state of any parameters that are passed into the function. So you can see, if you look at the Locals window, I've got this, which represents the current window, the sender, which is this first parameter, E, which is the second parameter, and then I've got all of these variables: today, bank balance, book. They're all listed here. Now, when I come into this function down here and I call that another function, you'll see that the Locals window changes to reflect the local variables inside this method. The Autos window and the Locals window are very easy to understand and they're automatic. I use them every day when I'm debugging.